The Flood Commission of Inquiry's work is not yet done. The next phase of its investigation begins in September when, among other things, it'll look into the insurance industry. There's been a lot of anger aimed at insurance companies, with many flooded residents upset at the way they've been treated. Rob Whelan from the Insurance Council of Australia joined me earlier from his Sydney office. Rob Whelan, it's fair to say criticism of many insurance companies since the natural disasters has been widespread and absolutely scathing. Are you prepared for a bruising round of testimony from the Commission of Inquiry?
Well, I certainly think we'll have a full and frank discussion with the Commission. So, no, we're not concerned about providing evidence to the Commission. There is a lot that I think the insurance industry has achieved, and we'll be quite happy to point to what progress has actually been made in restoring Queensland communities through these major disasters.
Do you expect individual companies to actually front the hearings? And given the intensity of feeling in the community toward them, should they expect a fair hearing?
Yes, I think some will. As I understand, some have actually sought leave to appear in front of the Commission, and I'm sure that will occur. We have sought leave and we will be appearing and giving evidence. So I think a number of companies will be doing that, and I expect they will get a fair hearing, yes.
It's now going on 7 months since the floods and cyclones, and some people are still living in tents and caravans. Is that good enough?
Look, it is frustrating, and I can understand that, and really we would all rather it happened faster. But we are dealing with nearly 127,000 claims across Queensland, which is an enormous area, and it does take time, and the repairs are quite considerable that need to be done to these homes and businesses. And flood does cause very bad damage to homes, which takes quite a long time to repair. So regrettably, it is going to take some time to get everyone back into their homes.
Well, what can be done in future to process claims more quickly and also to avoid this situation where people thought they were covered but actually weren't?
Well, I'll address that last point first. We are working with the government to come up with a common definition of flood so that all policy documentation from this point onwards will have a common definition agreed to by the government and by consumer groups, so there should be no confusion as to what is covered within policies going forward. And also we'll be providing a key fact statement to customers so that they're very clear about what is available to them within that policy for cover. Now, going forward in terms of repairs, again, I just have to emphasise that these are major events that have occurred across Queensland, and it does take time to repair these homes. The companies do what they call a triage system on repairs, so that people who are inconvenienced and out of their homes for the repairs to take place will actually get some accommodation, and they are treated first and foremost, and then others who are not so badly damaged are further down the list. So we do try and deal with the emergency cases as quickly as possible, so that is the process we use.
But it's not just the actual repairs, is it? It's the process of actually finding out for sure and certain whether or not you're covered or not.
That's right, and there was some confusion with some people as to whether their policy did actually cover that type of flooding that occurred in the Brisbane and other parts of Queensland. So that is being resolved going forward with the policy documentation changes that I had mentioned.
The RACQ initially wasn't going to honour claims in Ipswich, but having received new hydrology information has decided that it will. Would you expect other companies to follow suit?
Well, I'm sure they'll be interested in whatever additional information the RACQ has been able to source. They will take that into account in terms of their policies and the way in which they've treated the customers in terms of their policy claims. So I'm sure they'll be very interested to see if there's any additional information. Insurance companies will always take into account any available information they can to seek to pay the claim. So they'll be very interested to see that, I'm sure.
Do they also need to consider compassionate grounds as well?
Well, in all cases, I think you'll find that insurance companies err on the side of the consumer wherever possible. So they have been compassionate as far as they can, but regrettably, you cannot pay claims on policies that aren't covering that particular peril. That's just the facts of life. I'm afraid there's not much more we can do, but they will always err on the side of the consumer wherever there's a marginal decision to be made.
How much money has been paid out and how many claims are still outstanding?
Well, we've got about 127,000 claims out there, of which about half of the home claims in the flood area have been finalised and completed, and about 6 in 10 for the cyclone claims. So In all, about $1.6 billion has been paid out thus far in repairs and cash settlements, and the overall estimate for the total of both the floods and the cyclone is about $3.6 billion.
So still some way to go.
Still some way to go.
Rob Whelan, thank you.
Thank you.